The A-Class hasn't been the same since the introduction of the new generation, but now our car reviewer Sasha is looking forward to the A45 by AMG. It has an output of 265 kilowatts and 450 newton-meters of torque. The first question is getting to grips with that power. The design of the new A-Class took everyone by surprise. The message was youth in terms of the model itself and the target group. The same applies with the A45 AMG. As the entry-level model from Mercedes-Benz's performance arm, it's intended to appeal to younger drivers. And it certainly has some convincing arguments. The A45 AMG accelerates to 100 kilometers an hour in a brutal 4.6 seconds. That's sports car standard. But bear in mind that we have the same software for the direct shift gearbox as in the SLS AMG. The A45's engine is over 4 litres smaller than the SLS AMG, so it's all the more surprising to see the amount of power it can deliver. The top highlight for developer Marco Witzel is the engine. AMG fitted a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine with a twin-scroll turbo and created the most powerful 4-cylinder in the world. It has 265 kilowatts and 360 horsepower. The engineers also paid attention to efficiency and the environment. The engine already meets the EU 6 emissions norm 4 years ahead of time and has an official consumption of just 6.9 litres of premium unleaded for 100 kilometres. But that's only if driving conservatively. This is the sound you get when you really step on it. Depending on the driver's skills and the conditions, you can switch the ESP to sport handling mode or just turn it off. But under everyday conditions, the car's dynamism is no less impressive. Marvel at the acceleration from a standing start. Top speed, electronically capped, is 250 kph. And to ensure that the driver feels the power pumping through the car, top caliber tuner team at AMG have a trick or two up their sleeves. 450 newton-meters of torque are some package to deliver to the road, points out Sasha. AMG has installed permanent four-wheel drive. That means you can step on the gas again at the apex of a bend without having to worry about flying out of control. And the AMG edition is also proud of its looks. Its contouring is bold and sinewy, its veins running from the front down the sides. 18-inch alloy wheels, carbon fibre mirror housings and AMG performance brakes. All subtle indications that you're behind the wheel of a super sports car chomping at the bit. Sizable air inlets and the uncharacteristically long engine hood make the new generation a real head-turner. Behind the hatch, we find ample space at the back. Performance and interior space do not have to be mutually exclusive, says Sasha. Here we have 341 litres of cargo space, and that figure rises to 1,157 litres with the rear seats folded down. And now to the cabin. The dashboard is trimmed in carbon fibre. The 5 black and red air vents blend in perfectly, and you don't even notice that the sports seats covers are not in fact genuine leather. The Special Edition has a 7-speed automatic performance transmission. The shift times can be varied in the 3 modes: Comfort, Sport and Manual. AMG really made an effort with the sound design, reckons Sasha. The exhaust features an electronically controlled flap to minimise annoying noise. So, does the super hot hatch have what it takes? The thrills of the A45 AMG do not come cheap, sums up Sasha. Almost 50,000 euros. But who'd still want to drive a regular A-Class after you've experienced the 265 kilowatts of this baby? The only real drawback is the cost. After all, the A45 AMG is twice as expensive as the smallest regular A-Class. American-style sedans are becoming increasingly popular in Europe. Today we're checking out the Lancia Thema, which is in fact a second-generation Chrysler 300C. A few years ago, our test driver Mattis was driving around these parts in a Chrysler 300C wagon. But Fiat has since bought up Chrysler and restructured the brand. A successor to the Chrysler 300C, in some parts now also known as the Chrysler 300, is called the Lancia Thema in Europe. Lancia hopes to win over new customers with the Thema, but its success depends on the improvements made. Some comfort features have been added for the European version. Mattis finds the car more comfortable to drive than the Chrysler 300C. The steering and gears are firmer because they've been specially adapted for the European market. He also notes that the brakes are more reliable than they used to be. Let's take a look at the Thema from the outside. The bi-xenon headlights come with a smart beam function, so they adjust from low to high beam automatically. The car has a wheelbase of 3.52 metres and 18-inch alloy wheels come as standard. The trunk holds 462 litres before folding down the rear seats. Overall, the car comes together harmoniously, and both the front and rear exude an American vibe. Inside, the Lancia Thema comes across as tidy and functional, with the upholstery providing a luxurious feel. The model we tested had a 3.6-litre V6 gas engine with an output of 210 kilowatts. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in 7.9 seconds. It's not the most energy-efficient vehicle, however, eating up 9.4 litres of fuel per 100 kilometres. Its top speed is 240 kph. Mattis thinks the cost-effectiveness of the Lancia Thema is truly phenomenal. For a little over 50,000 euros, he can get a model with all the trimmings, including a leather-coated dash, heated seats, ventilated seating up front, adaptive speed control, blind spot detection, and a sound system with an 8.4-inch touchscreen. It's everything his heart could desire.
Alles, was das Herz begehrt.
Almost everything about the Thema comes out top compared to its predecessor, except for one thing, the navigation system. It has a large enough display, but sometimes it just doesn't react and fails to display a map. At times, the location pin is 10 kilometers off the mark. He wouldn't recommend it to those who are really reliant on sat-navs.
Da ist das überhaupt nichts.
The Lancia Thema comes with a range of 4 engines, 2 gasoline and 2 diesel, varying in output between 140, 176 and 210 kilowatts. You also have a choice between an 8-speed or 5-speed automatic gearbox.
Also beim Thema
So, is the Thema an American or Italian car, wonders Matis? The basic form is definitely American, except for a few Italian design elements. He also finds the interior more Italian than American. In the end, he says it's a car for individualists, considering that only a few hundred units were sold in Germany over the last year. The car is a looker, however, and drives no less comfortably than the competition. The Lancia Thema is available in Germany from a starting price of €41,400, though the model we tested cost €50,900. Introducing BMW's 4 Series Coupe. Technically, this would be a two-door 3 Series. With a 50mm wheelbase and 43mm rear, however, it's visibly larger than the outgoing model, and lower too. 2 gasoline engines and 1 diesel unit will be available on its launch, covering a performance range of between 135 and 225 kilowatts. In Germany, the entry-level model, the BMW 420d Coupe, will hit the market at €39,200. Factory specifications list 3.1 litres of fuel per 100 kilometres for the new Porsche Panamera SE hybrid. This is a sports car with an electronic heart. Its plug-in hybrid means theoretically that its range in e-power mode is between 18 and 36 kilometres. It has an output of 306 kilowatts with 590 newton-meters of torque. On electric power alone, it can reach 135 kilometers per hour before the diesel engine kicks in. In Germany, the launch price is expected to be €110,409. The owner promised us something exotic and unconventional. A car with a special purpose that you won't otherwise see in Europe. This sports car, perhaps? Nah, too capricious. This one's pretty special, but hardly exotic. How about this baby? This is a 1994 Chevrolet Caprice 9C1, originally serving the Los Angeles Police Department. Its current owner knows how to treat it right. He happens to be a police officer himself. We take off for a test drive. His colleagues have agreed to turn a blind eye today to allow Andre to show what his Caprice is capable of. Of course, there are particular modifications required by law, explains Andre. The police lights have to be covered up and deactivated, and the sirens likewise have to be deinstalled. But at meets like this or at photo shoots, they're up and running. The main thing is observing the regulations that are part of the car's registration here. This Caprice is fitted with Chevrolet's 9C1 police package, in this case a special 5.7-litre V8 engine with an automatic box. It's had no rust, no accidents, and particularly important for a real police car's history, no previous civilian owners. For this Caprice owner, it's a dream come true. Andre always had his eye out on the market, and at some point he saw the Caprice and fell in love. He wrote to the seller and, thank God, he replied and said the car was still available, and he offered him a good price. And what a catch it was for Andre. The object of his desire was taken care of well when still serving and protecting. It seems this model survived any high-speed pursuits unscathed. The original light bar is in top condition, as are the police codes and logos. The V8 doesn't need much prompting to unleash the contents of its green coolant hoses. This is pure adrenaline, not water. The engine can call up some 264 horsepower in order to catch the bad guys. The classic Unity spotlights are also still on board. The plastic plastered interior isn't too welcoming, and the steering wheel is like in a huge performance sedan. Aside from the radio and the blazing lights and sirens, the car has no further extras. The Thema partition cage is still there. It's dirt resistant and can be cleaned.
The
Americans aren't too good at interiors, reckons Andre. There's loads of plastic and, in the case of these cars, low-quality plastic. You have to take care not to break anything. He's fortunate that this interior is in relatively good shape, but otherwise it's a robust car. The engine's sturdy.
Vom Motor und alles andere kann man also so gut wie nichts falsch machen, kriegt man nicht kaputt.
The Caprice 9C1 is hardly a classic beauty. The rounded body earned it the nickname Beached Whale, although its predatory qualities are more like those of a shark. Stepping on the gas, the car belies its weight of almost 2 tons. Speedy and smooth. Awesome. This is why Andre plumped for a 9C1. It's the overall package, the power and the size and everything underneath. This is a muscle car and a gas guzzler. It's fun to drive and great to cruise around in. A piece of America back home.
Sprit verbrauchen, Spaß haben, cruisen. So ein bisschen Amerika zum Anfassen für zu Hause quasi.
Andre and his trusty steed head out on another adventure. The American Chevy has lost its beating V8 heart to a German police officer.